What's up, guys? This is Corey with the Dirt City Gym, back with another deck profile for y'all. Today we're going to be looking at a blue-green Beerus stall or control type deck. So as you can tell, the format's changed a little bit. I took some opinions from people on the different Facebook groups and things like that, asking how they prefer to look at deck profiles, whether it be through like an octagon type format or an over-the-top. And obviously over-the-top was the more preferred. So we're going to try that for a little bit, kind of see how it goes. But other than that, let's get into the deck. So first off, for our leader, we have Beerus. So Beerus is a really cool leader. He's got the auto. Whenever you attack with Beerus, you may, if you have at least 3 or more energy, you may destroy one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost 2 or less. So it's really good board control, kind of taking over everything. And what's really cool about it is it doesn't specify that you can only attack into the leader in order for the effect to take place, similar to like a Broly or something. So if it's early and you've been able to energy ramp out pretty effectively, you can attack into a rested battle card, kill that card, and then the auto can also take effect and kill something else that's on the board, whether it's in the active or rest mode. So really cool stuff there. And then obviously whenever we awaken, we get to draw our 2 cards, and then that ability ramps up to we're able to destroy something that has a battle cost of 3 or less. So again, more board control, kind of mid board control. Obviously we're not able to kill really big dangerous things of early setup type things that we're able to kind of eliminate, get rid of combo cards that are on the field and that kind of stuff. He also has the ability that if you tap 16 energy and then put Beerus into rest, you win the game, and that's it. So cool little flavor text there. Basically, you know, Beerus obviously is the god of destruction and everything like that. He takes a nap and blows up a planet. So really cool stuff's there. So anyway, that is Beerus. So let's get into the deck. As I said, it is more of a control type deck. So you'll see that we're not necessarily super aggressive with things that we do, but we'll get into the list. So first up, we've got, going into our extra cards, we've got a 4 of Whis' Coercion. Probably the best negate in the game. Negate an attack and then untap one of your energy, so basically it's a free card. So we're running a 4 of that. Pretty staple stuff there. So next up we have 4 of our full power energy, which is our green negate. So full power energy, it lets you negate, and then you get to knock out one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 1 or less. So again, kind of board control. We can take out combo pieces, take out blockers, things like that, kind of how we need to. And that as well is a 4 of. So next up we have 3 Objection, just kind of your standard blue ramp. So for 2 and 1 blue, we're able to take a card from our hand and put it into our energy just automatically. So we're able to kind of get going, kind of get set up. Obviously we lose a little bit of the card advantage of that because we're going 2 for 1 and things like that, but for things that we're needing to do in this deck, it works out really well. So that is a 3 of. Next up, we have 2 Results of Training. So what Results of Training is basically for 5 energy, 2 blue. If we have not awoken yet our leader, we can play this down. We awaken, we get to draw our 2 cards, and then we untap 4 cards. So a lot of different things going on with this one card, but this is really good against decks that like to play the strategy where they're going to attack us, leave us at like 5 life, and then just kind of stall until they build up a board, which can get kind of annoying, and I know all about that. That is typically my playstyle. So this gives us an out to that. We also get to untap the energy, so basically we're playing this card for 1 cost. As soon as we have the energy to do that. So even if we have all 8 of our life left, we can drop our Results of Training and then awaken right then and there and start drawing our cards and things like that. So a really good card, a really good out for things that are trying to kind of stall us out. And that is a 2 of. Next up, we have a King Vegeta's Surprise Attack. So this is a nifty little card. It's got the Activate Battle. It's for 1 green. Choose up to 1 of your battle cards in play. It gains plus 1,000 power and revenge until the end of the battle. Or excuse me, for the duration of the turn. So what revenge is that whenever this card is attacked, it automatically knocks out the card attacking into it at the end of battle. So this works really well. We've got several blockers in the deck where you're able to kind of set up our opponent. They attack with something big, something we don't really want to deal with into our leader. We don't want to negate it at the same time. We activate our blocker, or we activate King Vegeta, then activate our blocker, and then our little 5000 King Kai or Krillin is knocking out like a Beerus or something like that. So it is only a 2 of. It's not something that we're going to really run into a lot of, that we're going to really need to get this off, but whenever we can get it off, it's not a bad little effect. Alright, so next up we have our staple 0 cost 10k combo for blue. Since we're running a blue leader, it's boost attack Piccolo. And so for those of you that don't know, whenever we combo with this, if we have 4 life or less, the combo power of this turns into 10,000 and it's a 0 cost, and then we're able to draw a card. So late game, mid game, whenever we've gotten to where we have woken, these are really good free little cards. Draw a card and we can add 10,000 across the board wherever we want. Any deck, every deck is running 4 copies of these for whatever your particular leader is. Since we're running Beerus, Piccolo is our go-to for that. Alright, so next up we have 4 energy boosted Majin Buu, another blue kind of staple card. So this is a 1-drop, 1 blue, and then whenever it comes into play, we're able to draw a card, so it exchanges itself in our hand for the most part. It works really well late game because it's a 0 cost 5k boost, so it's always going to be really just sitting on our board. We're never generally going to attack with a Buu. I mean, there are situations where obviously if we absolutely have to, we can, but Buu's just going to kind of sit there. Let's just draw a card, let's just get through our deck, and then we're able to use it later for combos and things like that. Late game, it's not bad to drop as an energy either. So, and again, that is a 4 of. So next up, we've got 3 Bulma God Tempter. So it's a 1 cost blue. So this is an auto. Whenever it comes into play, we're able to search our deck for 1 Whis card with an energy cost of 4 or less and put it into our hand. Right now, there is only 1 Whis card that we can actually find. It's Whis, the resting attendant, which we'll get into later because we are running those in the deck as well. But this is a nice little card. It lets us search the deck, thin the deck. We are exchanging as long as we have one in the deck for the Bulma for the Whis in hand, so we're able to kind of set that up later. And similarly to the Buu, it's also a 0 cost 5k combo, so mid-late game we always have this combo just kind of sitting on our board. And again, this is just a 3 of. Alright, next up, getting into our blockers, we have 3 Guardian North Kai. He's a 1-drop, 1 blue, 5,000 attack, 0 cost, 5k boost, and then he's got the ability Blocker. So traditionally, blockers aren't super common, or for the most part have not been super common in a lot of decks. They're starting to see a little bit more of a resurgence and things like that, but especially in a deck like this where we're wanting to kind of stall out and build up our board, build up our energy, ramp up all that kind of stuff. Blockers are really important. We don't want to be taking unnecessary hits into our leader, so having a blocker on the field that's just going to sit there until we're ready for him to kind of be a human meat shield and go take a life is not bad at all. Also, kind of going on the same combo thing over here, he's a 0 cost 5k, so if we needed that later, we've got that too if we needed to ever reach up into something. So next up we have 4 of our Human Shield Krillin, which is a 1-drop green. Same thing as the Guardian North Kai. He's a 5,000 attack, and then he has blocker, 0 cost, 5k boost. As far as the numbers on these, they are kind of interchangeable. You could run like 3 Krillin and 4 North Kai, or I mean 4 Kai and 4 Kai, 3 Krillin like I'm doing. Kind of however you want to do. Just my preference. I felt like 7 was really all I really needed to run, and I just went ahead with the 4 Krillin, but really they're the exact same as of right now. So there's not much of a difference in running a 4 of and 1 and 3 of the other, or however you want to do it. Alright, so next up, getting into that Whis card that we were talking about earlier, we have Whis, the Resting Attendant. So it's a 4-drop, 2 blue, 10,000 attack, 1 cost combo for a 10,000k boost. And it's got the auto, whenever Whis comes into play, we take the top deck of our card, or top card of our deck, excuse me, and put it into play as an energy So again, this is kind of working with that energy ramp. We can get these out kind of mid-game, kind of early, even late. They're not a horrible thing to have because they are a good combo piece later. We're never really going to attack with the Whis unless we absolutely have to or need to. But getting that energy acceleration is really what we're going for with the Whis. And there's really only two ways to accelerate energy in the game as of right now. One being the objection, and then the other being this Whis card. So wanting to accelerate energy, Whis is a good way to go, and that is a 3 of. You could potentially run more. I only run 3 of the Bulma, so I only wanted to stick with 3 of the Whis, just kind of keep that synergy going there. Alright, so next up we have 4 energy boosted Beerus. So it's a 4-drop, 2 blue, 1 drop for a 10k combo. It's got double strike, which lets it deal 2 damage to life instead of 1. And then it's got the auto. Whenever this comes into play, if you have 5 or more energy, you can knock out one of your opponent's battle cards. It's a super strong card. Not only is it a really great attacker, really efficient attacker for a 4 cost for 20k and a double strike, but that ability, having the 5 energy, dropping him and just knocking off something off the board, big threat, little threat, whatever it is, if you know you need to take out a blocker this turn so you can inflict the life you need to take in order to win the game, take out something big you don't want to deal with later, take out something that you know is getting ready to evolve, something like that, whatever it is, as long as you have that 5 energy, and regardless of what color it is, you drop the Beerus, you kill something. Just great card. This is pretty much a staple again in majority of blue decks, between a 3 and 4 of. I feel 4 is optimal for what we're needing to do again, and it also works in that stall factor where we're just taking a little longer to get going with what we need to do. Alright, so next up we have 2 Vegeta, Prince of Speed. It's a 5-drop for 3 blue. It is able to evolve for 2 blue and 2 other. We don't actually have any cards to evolve this from other than Vegeta itself. So that's not something you're really going to worry about, and it has double strike, so again, like Beerus, it's able to attack twice. It's 20k attack for 1, and it's a 10k combo boost. But the main thing we're using this for is whenever it comes into play, we're able to draw 2 cards. So mid-game, late-game card draw is always super strong, especially if you get in a situation where we're not able to find our results of training and they're not letting us awaken yet. We can drop the Vegeta, draw 2 cards, and kind of go from there. So a really good card. It's definitely one of those, if you felt like you needed to include an additional copy of, you could totally do that. I feel like 2 is pretty optimal for me though. Alright, so next up we have 3 Super Saiyan Gotenks. So he's a 5-drop, 2 green. He can evolve for 3 green and 1 blue, or 3 green and 1 other. We don't have another Gotenks to evolve him from other than himself, so it's not, again, really something we're going to worry about. But he's got the double strike ability, and then he's got the auto. Whenever he comes into play, you can untap 2 of your energy cards and draw a card. And he's 25k attack, so we're effectively only paying 3 in order to actually play this, that we can't not do it until we have the 5 energy, but it is effectively only a 3 cost. This is one of those cards I feel like is probably one of the most underappreciated cards in the game. As I say that, it's starting to get a lot more hype because people are realizing that it's a really, really good card. It's a region almost in and of itself to splash green in different types of decks and things like that. Being at 25k with double strike is already good in and of itself. Being able to untap 2 energy is a really great ability in and of itself, and then being able to just draw a card upon coming into play, again, is just a great ability, and it has all of those wrapped into 1 card. So this is a guy that whenever you drop it, he can kind of change the game for you right then and there. So one of my favorite cards in the deck, or just in the game in general. Alright, and then next up, kind of getting into our closers, we've got 2 of the Beerus, General of Demolition. It's a 7-drop, 3 blue, 25k, triple strike, and then he's got the auto. Whenever he attacks a leader card, your opponent may discard 2 cards from their hand. If they don't, then you wipe their board of all their energy cards and all their battle cards. So again, this is a very situational card to some extent. If you know you're able to keep your board control and everything like that, you've got your opponent where they're not able to really draw cards, whether you're leaving them at the 5 life before they can awaken or whatever it is, you drop a Beerus and you can swing it into it, and they either have to empty their hand in order to unwipe their board, or they just can't empty their hand. They don't have the cards to empty their hand, or whatever the situation may be. Beerus just destroys everything on the field. Beerus is a really good kind of almost, I say tempo, kind of check yourself type of card. Whether they know you have a Beerus or not, or they know you're playing blue, just the fear of the Beerus, you're going to keep your opponent from being super aggressive with their cards in their hand, from going to that 2 cards or under, or a situation like that, because regardless of whether they actually negate the Beerus, they still have to discard those 2 or their board is wiped. So really just a great card, one of the best cards in the game, definitely one of the best cards in blue. Again, another one of my favorite cards. Beerus kind of comes in, he changes games. So definitely just a really fun card. And then lastly, we've got my favorite card in the deck, the Whis, Judge of the Gods. So he is a 12 drop for 5 blue. Again, 5 blue. He's really fat. 40,000 attack. He's got quadruple strike, so he deals 4 damage instead of 1. He's got the permanent that he cannot be negated or countered. And then he's got the auto that whenever he comes into play, if Beerus is your leader card, you take an additional turn after this turn. So he breaks the game in and of himself whenever he comes into play. Granted, you need the 12 energy, which is big and expensive in order for him to come into play, but if you can ever get a turn where you drop this, it's almost game over. Not only does your opponent have to almost empty their hand in order to block him, just being a 40k, because they can't negate him, so he's going to be attacking the leader regardless. Then at the end of your turn, you just untap all of your energy, all of your battle cards, and you get to do it again. They don't get to untap their stuff. They don't get to pay for combos and things like that. If you ever get in a situation where you can drop a Whis, swing with the Whis, they somehow live, you get your next turn, and then you can combo that up, dropping another Whis and get an additional turn, there's not a lot that's going to be able to take care of that. Generally, just the second turn off of the 1 Whis in and of itself is pretty much going to end the game for you. But it's a super strong card if you can ever get it off, and that is really, for those of you that have been kind of paying attention to the deck, is really what our goal is. Whether it be with Objection, or it's Whis the Resting Attendant, and our blockers and everything like that, we're wanting to stall the game out. Beerus lets us kind of control the board, whether it's this Beerus or this Beerus, keep their battle cards off the field. We're running 8 negates. We're running blockers, we're running this, that, and another to kind of just extend the game. So whenever we drop this Whis, we're ready to go, and that's pretty much it. Also, to note, once you get to the turn where you can drop the Whis, you're only 4 energy costs off from actually tapping the Beerus, the Awakened Beerus, excuse me, and just ending the game right then and there. I've not ever gotten to the point where I could Waken or use the Beerus ability. For the 16, I think the most I've gotten up to was 14 energy, because after I get the Whis out, it's pretty much game at that point, so that's largely irrelevant, but something to keep in mind of, that is something that you can reach for in the deck if you absolutely have to. If your opponent is not quite aware of what's going on and they're playing more conservative and things like this, Whis can take advantage. You drop the Whis, it's pretty much game. The deck is really built around getting Whis out whenever we can get Whis out. As you know, early as possible, we're talking about like turn 8, turn 9 after Objections and Whis and things like that, setting up the fill of blockers and all that kind of stuff. So really strong card. Really the only reason I like playing this deck. For the most part, it's a largely inexpensive deck. Beerus is kind of expensive. At I think 14 right now, but you could cut the Beerus, maybe go down to 1 Beerus, or cut the Beerus in general, and maybe just kind of build your deck around some other type of methods and things like that. Beerus is just my preferred method to go with the deck as of right now. But anyway, guys, that is the deck list. Let me know what y'all think. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And that is it, and we will see y'all next